Street. Starring Robert Young as Cameron Garrett Brooks.
Home. Of all the sights in this world capable of quickening the heartbeats, there's none quite like the first view of a man's hometown when he returns after years of absence.
Mr. Cameron Brooks?
Yes?
I'm Arnie Logan. I'm supposed to meet you.
Oh, I was expecting a friend of mine, Mr. Lloyd Ramsey.
Well, he had to cover a special meeting at the city hall for the paper, so he sent a truck for you. And I came along.
A truck? That's a royal reception.
I recognize you from the picture on the back of one of your books. My mom's got all of them. She's read them 4 or 5 times, I bet you.
Well, I want to meet her.
Yeah, you will. She works for Mr. Ramsey. Come on, we better get your bags and get you to the hotel.
Yeah. The Majestic Hotel. When I was your age, Arnie, I used to stand out in front watching the fancy people go in and out of here, wondering if I'd ever be lucky enough to stay here.
Well, you finally made it.
All the things you shipped arrived, but we didn't know how you want them arranged.
Oh, I'll take care of that, thanks.
Wait, get you a bellboy.
Never mind, I have a pretty good one right here. Come on, Arnie.
Boy, all this your stuff?
Yep, everything I own now. Got rid of everything else. And a box I ought to get rid of, too. Just a lot of old mementos and junk.
This sure is a slick place to live. Man! You've even got a balcony. Are you lucky? You can stay home and watch all the parades. Wow! You can see all of Main Street. The people. Everything that happens. And I wish I had a window on Main Street.
Yes, I guess that's a good thing to have. Especially if a fellow's going to write a book about all those people down there.
That what you're gonna do?
That's my plan, Arnie. Each person down there is a story. And I... Excuse me, Arnie. Hello? Lloyd Ramsey! You ink-stained old son of a gun. Fine. Good, I'll be right there. Come on, Arnie, I want to see Lloyd Ramsey.
Were you guys friends when you were kids?
Yes, Arnie, ever since we punched each other in the nose 40 years ago. Let's go.
Mom, Mr. Brooks, I'd like you to meet my mom, Mrs. Logan.
How do you do?
How do you do, Mr. Brooks?
She's the one who read your books.
The one? That's about the right number, unfortunately. I'm deeply grateful to you, Mrs. Logan.
Oh, I enjoy them. In fact, I can't tell you.
Cameron! I can't believe you're really here after all these years.
Well, I'm here, Lloyd. Let me tell you, it feels great. How are Meg and the kids?
Oh, fine.
Good.
Sorry I couldn't get down to the depot, Cam.
Yeah, you didn't even have the brass band down there. You sent a good man in Arnie here.
Couldn't do better. Oh, have you met Chris, Mrs. Logan?
Yes, indeed.
Best 2 men I have in the organization. Well, go on in my office, Cam. I'll be right with you. Will you check this copy, Chris?
What a maze! Becoming editor didn't make you any neater.
Now, sit down, boy. You know, we have a few decades of talking and arguing to catch up
Well,
on.
instead of sitting, let's take a walk around town. I want to see the old places again. Relive a few memories.
That's a poor idea, Cam.
Huh? Here goes our first debate. Okay, you state your premise and I'll blast it full of holes.
Well, I'll use these letters you wrote me about coming home. You know what they're full of? Memories.
Mm-hmm.
Fine memories of your youth in Millsberg. There's a line in a John Burroughs poem. In sorrow he learned the truth. One may return to the place of his birth. He cannot go back to his youth.
Well, he's right. I'm not searching for the fountain of youth. I've come home to work.
But that work is to write a book about the Millsberg you remember. But that town's not here anymore, Cam. Things change.
I know that.
I stayed here and changed with it, so for me, it's a darn good town. But for you, after living in New York, Connecticut, France, well, it's just not for you anymore. Cam, you know I love you like a brother. But for your sake, for your work, you should pack up these fine, important memories and leave while they're still intact.
Lloyd, I planned on this, dreamed about it. After my wife and child died, I felt something drawing me homeward so strongly I couldn't resist it.
Well, I know that from your letters. But what you're looking for isn't here anymore.
Maybe not, but I have to find out. I don't need much to keep me here. A few familiar streets to walk, some old elm trees to look at, some real people to talk to. Lloyd, I have to try it.
Mr. Brooks,
Oh, yes.
there's still a nice streets to walk, and old elms to look at, and real people to talk to.
Oh, I'm sure there are, Mrs. Logan. Thank you. So, I walked the old streets. But with each step, the truth of Lloyd Ramsey's words became more evident. Old landmarks were gone, or altered. Old acquaintances seemed now as strangers. In a last desperate move, I sought out the old high school building. It too was being replaced by a new edifice, but there it stood. And for a moment, I was a high school boy again. Room 21, Senior English Composition. Teacher, Miss Kelly. Dear, severe, understanding, inspiring Miss Kelly. Oh, Miss Kelly, what have they done to our classroom? Talk to me, Miss Kelly. Talk to me as you used to do. Yes, Miss Kelly.
This story you've handed in. I am ashamed of you, Cameron Brooks.
Go on, Miss Kelly. Tell it to me again.
Such a fine feeling for words. But why do you waste your talents on stories about a millionaire French winemaker who drowns in his own champagne vat? What do you know of French millionaires? Or champagne?
Nothing at all, Miss Kelly.
Write me what you know, Cameron Brooks. Then you will begin to write. Write me about your dog. Or the color of the sun shining through the stained glass windows of your church. Or the texture of your mother's hands. Write anything, so long as it is a part of the truth of Cameron Brooks.
Oh, Miss Kelly, how much I owe you. You kindled the fires within me. But I'm afraid I kept on writing things I didn't know. And I didn't sell many books, so I came home to write what I do know. But it doesn't seem to be here anymore.
I don't know who you are, mister, or what you're doing here, but I think you better go now.
Whatever you're thinking, you're wrong. I was actually talking to No, you're right. I was talking to an empty room. Dusty, dead storage room. And I'm a fool. And that janitor was sure I had rocks in my head. You say Lloyd will be back in about...
Oh, half an hour.
Well, tell him I'm at the hotel, packing.
Packing? You're leaving?
Memory should only be enjoyed, never tested. Mrs. Logan, I'm truly sorry I didn't get to know you better. But maybe someday I'll write another book for you to read. Goodbye. Come in.
Excuse me, Mr. Brooks, but someone left this for you. It's marked urgent.
Urgent? Half a letter? My handwriting. September 6, 1934. Dear Tina. Tina? Now, who was... Wait. I remember. Yes. Who left this?
I don't know. I was away from the desk for a moment. When I came back, there it was.
Look, do you know anyone named Tina?
Tina who?
Well, I can't remember her last name. But I must find her. I've got to find her.
In the box of old mementos, I found the other half of the letter. But the problem now was to find the elusive Tina.
Well, that's quite a letter. How old were you when you wrote this?
Probably 20, because it was the day before I left Millsberg. I wrote it on Table Rock, where I spent many hours dreaming about my future. Just before I wrote that letter, I was composing a farewell poem.
Ode to Millsberg by Cameron Garrett Brooks. Thou haunt of my childhood, thou place of my youth, town sweetly bucolic, yet raw and uncouth. Farewell, and farewell.
Are you nutty? Farewell and farewell. Are you going someplace?
Not someplace, every place. New York, the world.
Well, what are you going to do there?
Oh, you wouldn't understand.
Yes, I would. I understand things. So tell me,
You ever hear of John Keats?
what grade is he in?
He was a great poet. He's dead.
Oh, gosh.
In one of his poems, he said, "Beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye know on earth and all ye need to know."
You have a very interesting Adam's apple. Are you ever coming back to Millsberg?
Yes, someday, when I'm a rich and famous author. Everyone will be at the depot, and they'll drive me along Main Street and throw confetti at me.
Gee. Well, if you're going to be so rich, will you bring me something?
Sure. What do you want?
Oh, something spangly and beautiful and very valuable.
Well, how about... No, you'll be too old then for dolls. Wait, I've got it. What's your name?
Tina, why? What are you writing?
A letter to you.
I don't want a letter.
This one you will. Now, you won't understand its value now, but someday you will. Here, you take this half and keep it in a real safe place.
Why?
Because someday when I return... Well, here, I'll read it to you. September 6th, 1934. Dear Tina, tomorrow I leave Millsberg. Someday I will return and bring you the other half of this letter. We will meet on this rock and paste the two halves together. And you will have something of great value because it will be a personal letter from a famous author. Your friend forever, Cameron Brooks. You keep this in a secret place till I get back.
Oh, I will.
Goodbye.
Wait. Aren't you going to kiss me goodbye?
I'll kiss you when I return. You'll appreciate it more then. Goodbye.
That's pretty romantic. Tina, no, I can't remember anyone by that name.
Well, Lloyd, if this were a story for your paper, which incidentally it isn't, how would you go about tracking her down?
Well, first thing I do is... Chris, will you come in here? I'd put her on it. Oh, she's very good at detail work.
Don't bother her. This is too personal a matter.
Yes, Mr. Ramsey.
Mr. Brooks wants to locate a girl or a woman. Her name's Tina. He doesn't remember her last name.
Not very flattering to her.
No, I suppose not.
How about running an ad in our personals column? Or arranging a meeting?
Why would she respond to an ad if she wasn't willing to reveal herself at the hotel?
Try the ad, Cam. Our advertising manager here will help you with it.
Well, in that case, I guess it won't hurt to try.
Oh, make him pay cash for the ad. After he sees this Tina, he might decide to leave town again in a hurry.
Now, somehow, I'm beginning to feel that I shouldn't go any further with this.
But why?
Well, if she had wanted to see me, she could easily have done it. She came to the hotel and left a memento for me, so she knew I was there. She could easily have stepped to the phone and said hello. Instead, she vanished. And it's odd that no one seems to know this girl who's apparently lived here all her life.
Doesn't that make you all the more curious to find her?
Yes, it does. But I can't rid myself of the feeling she'd rather not be found.
And then, too, such reunions can be awkward.
I feel more comfortable just being here talking to you, Mrs. Logan. You're the one person in town who's made me feel at home.
I'm glad. But don't you think you should run the ad and let the girl decide if she wants to see you?
Well, perhaps.
Seems only fair to her. So, please meet me tomorrow at... where?
Well, that could only be the place I met her. Table Rock. But maybe it's not even there anymore.
It's still there. Please meet me tomorrow noon at Table Rock, signed C.G.B. Here you are. I've been hunting for you.
Oh?
The ad worked. I have a message for you from Tina.
You have? The real one?
I think so. She tried to call you, but you weren't in your room, so she called the newspaper office.
Well, sit down and tell me all about her.
Thank you. Well, her name is Tina Holtzman.
Holtzman? Yes, that name is vaguely familiar. What else?
Well, she said the day you wrote her a certain letter, she was wearing some of her mother's clothes.
Yes, that's the one. Well, what's she like now? Is she married?
She was. She lost her husband in Korea.
Oh.
So then she took her baby and moved back to Millsberg. She's a working girl now.
Doesn't seem possible. All that could have happened to that little girl I remember. That sensitive little face.
Gee, I'd better rent a car and get out to Table Rock to meet her.
Well, look, I have to run an errand in that general direction. I'll give you a lift.
Oh, Mrs. Logan, I've been too much bother to you as it is.
Well, it's really not much out of my way. Come on, or you'll be late.
Oh, thank you. She's not here yet. Well, I guess it's a bit early. Well, Mrs. Logan, I don't know how to thank you. Chauffeur, message bearer, morale builder. How can I thank you for all of that?
Don't try. I have to run. Good luck.
Thank you. Thou haunt of my boyhood, thou place of my youth, town sweetly bucolic, yet raw and uncouth. Farewell.
Are you nutty?
You? Your name is Chris.
Didn't you ever hear the name Christina?
Christina.
I wanted to be called Tina, but kids at school chose Chris, and that stuck.
An outfit. Where did you ever dig that up?
My mother never threw away a thing in her whole life.
The hat? The handbag? You remembered everything.
As though it happened yesterday. I can still see you dramatically tearing that letter in two. How that impressed me. Incidentally, do you have the letter? I brought some tape so we could put it together. That was part of the bargain, you know.
Of course I have it. Why didn't you tell me who you were right away?
Oh, many reasons.
Name one.
When I knew you were coming back, I could hardly wait to show you my half of the letter. But when you arrived, I knew you didn't remember it. Or me. Did you?
Well, not at first, but...
I didn't want to risk making a fool of myself.
But then you delivered your half to me at the hotel.
That was after I found out you were leaving. I hoped the letter might keep you here. You see, I believe you can still find the Millsberg you're looking for. And write a fine book about it. Well, there. Together again.
You know, I'm amazed you kept your half all these years.
Why? You told me to, and I believed you. I believed you would become a great writer.
Well, I became a writer, but not a very great one. I'm neither rich nor famous. And there was no parade, no confetti. And you couldn't sell this for a bag of popcorn.
I don't intend to sell it. I must get back to work.
Wait, there's one part of this bargain I haven't fulfilled, remember?
I remember. I asked you to kiss me goodbye, but you said I'd appreciate it more now.
Oh, forgive me for that.
I won't hold you to that promise.
The promises are made to be kept.
Welcome home, Cameron Brooks.
In the next chapter of my book, I tell what happens when a young, sensitive boy like Arnie Logan discovers his favorite school teacher, Miss Henderson, in a most compromising situation. We're happy to be back with our old friend and sponsor, Scott Paper Company, and to welcome our new friend and sponsor, the Tony Company, both of whom join me in inviting you to please come back for another look at Millsberg through My Window on Main Street. Good night.